Well, hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail. And we find ourselves down by the River Lagan here in Lisburn, and we're actually at the weir here of the Lagan Valley Island Centre, which is a civic centre and also the council offices. And this is the weir here, as you can see, and of course that is a fantastic building. It's a magnificent building. And so what we're here actually today for is for a general called CLAIR Mulholland, who was actually born in Lisburn. And CLAIR Augustine Mulholland was born in Lisburn on the 1st of April 1839, and they lived in a house at the quay at the bottom of Bridge Street near Union Bridge, and that's Union Bridge there, and I'll take you down that way and show you the area. And that bridge actually connects County Antrim on this side where I am with County Down on the opposite bank, and that's why it was called Union Bridge. And it was helped financed by Sir Richard Wallace of Lisburn. He had a house here in Lisburn, but so there you are. And he wasn't a native here, of course. I think he was originally he was either English. I think he was English. I think he was born in England, if I remember rightly. But this is a wee board here. As you can see, General CLAIR Mulholland, and it gives you a wee bit of information. Shows you the general when he was young and also when he was old. And that's the Battle of Gettysburg there, which fought on 2nd, 3rd of July 1863. And of course, General Mulholland's regiment was involved in that engagement. Now, members of the Lisburn Mulholland family were actually involved in the 1798 rebellion, because John Mulholland was a United Irishman, Harry Mulholland was in the Yeomanry, and Hugh Mulholland, he refused to join either side, and so they were nicknamed by the United Irishmen Good, Bad and Indifferent. It reminds me of the Clint Eastwood movie, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Well, this was the Good, Bad and Indifferent. And you can see the gates just over to the left here, which I'm going to show you very shortly. And that's them there, and you'll get a better view of them in a second. As you can see, of course this used to be the canal, and so you can see the gates there. And the Lagan looks very peaceful, doesn't it? And the three men were all brothers. John and Harry were actually involved in the Battle of Ballynahinch, which was fought in 1798. And Harry Mulholland had been buying linen cloth with his friend Henry Munro at a Lurgan market just a few days before the Battle of Ballynahinch. These two men were friends, and if you remember, I've done a wee video on Henry Munro. He was the general, he was the leader at Ballynahinch of the United Irishmen, and he was actually hung in Lisburn town centre, and so I've done a wee video on that as well. Now, most of the Mulholland family, they emigrated to New York in 1850, but some actually did remain in Lisburn. CLAIR's brother Joseph Mulholland, he stayed behind and he became a senior member of staff at William Barber's linen thread. That was the linen thread mill down at Hildon. And so not all of them went actually to America, but some of them actually did stay behind, and he was one of them. And then, of course, whenever the American Civil War broke out in 1861, then CLAIR actually joined the Union Army, and he was wounded during the famous charge of the Irish Brigade up Marie's Heights at the Battle of Fredericksburg in December 13th, 1862. And he won the Medal of Honour for his bravery at the Battle of Chancellorsville in 1863. And so he certainly rose high in the ranks, and he would actually eventually rise to the rank of Major General. And in the 2003 American Civil War movie Gods and Generals, Colonel Mulholland's character was actually played by the actor Timothy O'Hare. And so this is the area where his house would have been. You can see the castle there, and I done a wee video on the castle, and also the church there in the background. And I also done a video on the church, a couple of videos up in the church actually. But this is the area where the Mulholland's house would have been. This is the quay, which is now a car park, as you can see. And you can see Union Bridge there. You get a better wee view of it here, as you can see. And so that connects County Antrim and County Down. But so the house would have been somewhere in this vicinity. This is the quay here, down at the Lagan River. And their house was actually in Bridge Street. And so Bridge Street is actually just between those two houses there. As you can see, the grey and the brown, that road up between them is actually Bridge Street. As you can see. So the house would have been somewhere in this vicinity here. So it would have been. And after the American Civil War then, he actually moved to Philadelphia, and he became the chief of police in 1868. So he was a very talented man, and a very learned man. There's no doubt about it, and also a very brave man. And he also served actually as the United States pension agent under a series of US presidents of Ulster descent, and that included President Grover Cleveland and also President Theodore Roosevelt. And in 1903 he published the history of his unit, entitled The Story of the 116th Regiment Pennsylvania Volunteers in the War of the Rebellion. And so Sinclair died on the 17th of February 1910, and he's actually buried at the old Cathedral Cemetery in Philadelphia. And so he certainly is a tremendous man, and certainly a tremendous advocate here for Lisburn. And hard to believe that this famous man actually lived in this area here in Lisburn, but there you go. And there's one more wee thing I want to show you actually on the billboard, because it shows you the photo of what they think was actually Sinclair Mulholland's house. And so I'm going to show you that on the wee video here before we wrap it up. Again, you can see the gates of the weir there, fantastic. And there used to be, as I say, that was the canal, and they used to have a few years ago they had actually a canal barge that you could pay to get in, and it took you up and down the Lagan, but it's not running now, unfortunately, so it's not. And of course my brother Paul is a councillor in that building over there, so he is, or should I say an elderman, which is a wee bit higher I think than a councillor. And he's a councillor in Lisburn. But I'm going to show you this wee board again, because it shows you a photo of Sinclair Mulholland's house, what they think is his house anyway, and it's a really good photograph. And so this is it here, and they think that Sinclair's house is that one there, the 3-storied one. They think that he actually lived there. And so you can see where I took you there, the quay where the car park is, and that's the road that I showed you. So they think that that was the house there of Sinclair Mulholland. So thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail, and if you enjoy the channel, please like and subscribe. God bless.